Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 188. We're a podcast that talks about pop culture, things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I'm joined as always by Andrea. How's it going?
Very good. How about yourself, John?
Good. It's been a bit of a long day, but I some good stuff too. I got a massage. That's been like months in the making here.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice. Yeah,
good.
that's not bad.
hmm I feel like I don't know how people do it. People absolutely do. But all the people at my gym, it's like, how do you do this sort of physical activity and then not at least semi regularly get a massage or a chiropractic adjustment? One of the two. It's like, I'm just like,
I
because
mean,
I know you're not stretching that much. I know you're not like stretching nicely before so well. We do a little for class, but then afterwards, where's your 15, 20 minutes of stretching? It's not there, not happening. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I think unfortunately I am one of those people.
I think I was gonna guess so too, playing your
Mhm.
softball and volleyball, and then I don't know, it compounds.
It does. It does. Yeah, no, I never I mean, I do try to stretch, I guess, post. But yeah, no, the massage thing never seems to kind of work itself around. I think the last time I got a massage, I was pregnant.
Mm. Yeah, you gotta schedule it and then schedule the next one when you're there. And
I know, and I always like that's what trips me up. It's like I think the only place I actually do that is the dentist because they're like super like rigid about you know what I mean? They're so just like, "Okay, so this day." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Whereas like other places, they'll be like, "Oh, do you want to schedule your next appointment?" I'm like, "Don't give me the option because
yeah.
I'm going to think that sometime in the future I'm going to think of this and call you." No, I will not.
Mhm.
So, no,
Have you
more
seen the
more
memes?
places need to be like the dentist and just like, you know, give me a date.
But have you seen the memes about that? Like, about the dentist? It's someone's shocked face when you don't know your availability 6 months from now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
I never know
yeah.
my availability. I just like go with it.
Yeah, and
I'm
then you
just like,
make
"Sure,
things
that
work
sounds
around
great."
it to the best of your
Exactly.
ability? Yeah, so you gotta do the
Exactly.
same thing here, but it's less time? So you could do it, like, every other month, you know?
Yeah.
I said it's a good minimal routine if you're heavily physically active,
Mhm.
especially after 30, some of that,
Yes.
so
Oh, way to out us, John.
I mean,
Like
it
someone
it could
couldn't
be
guess, but,
it could be 30 it could be 30 years on the dot, don't know.
on the dot.
Yeah. Or I'm talking to you older folks out there, you elderly in your
There
late
you go.
30s.
There you go.
So, well, anyways, tonight, it's gonna be a mishmash of things. We're gonna talk about a lot about Jurassic World because you've been
Mhm.
doing a mega rewatch. So we'll
Mhm.
we'll get into those a little bit. Um, I've been watching some different stuff. I caught up on a movie that was all the talk of the town a while ago, Sinners. So we can talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
And
that
then
actually, that came on HBO the other night, so I put it that I did a rewatch-ish because I was, like, watching it, but I was doing other things, and I had already seen it in the theater, so
yeah, I never know if I like, count I have a letterbox account now and you can put in there when you watch a movie and all that sort of thing.
Mm.
I never know if a rewatch ish counts. Like, did
I
I
think it does.
okay.
I mean, as long as you don't miss, like, like 20-minute chunks at a time,
Sure.
you
Okay.
can walk in and out and be like, "Oh, right, like this thing," and I think your mind kinda replays some of it back, so
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then yeah, a few other things we've been watching. And then if we have time for it, we're gonna get to some Bond news and rumors. So, but
mhm.
before all that, we gotta talk about what our drink holidays are.
Yeah, yeah, we have a couple to start off the, first week of July, which holy cow, I can't believe it's already this far into the year. But yeah, July 1st starts off with an oldie but a goodie, and I always think of my mom when I think of this day, wine cooler day, because that's what she used to have, the old Bartles and
Mm-hmm.
James. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. raise an old glass bottle with that, like, pale blue, like, paper top, and, yeah,
They
cheers it up if you're
must
a wine cooler kinda person.
they must still make them, right? I mean, I haven't,
I have
gotta,
no
right?
idea. I mean,
Or has it just been a wash with the, like, wave of seltzers and
seltzer.
things, and it's hard to
Mhm.
find them? I don't know.
Yeah, I would guess, honestly. Or I know they do wine coolers in, like, pouches now instead of
Okay.
bottles.
Yeah, sure.
So, I'm
Mhm.
sure they've gone through, like, a little
There's
facelift
like,
or a
how can we
revamp
make
somewhere.
this look classier, even classier than wine coolers are known to be? Put it
Right.
in a pouch.
Let's
Juice
just
boxes shit.
lean into
Yes.
this adult Capri Sun it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they basically are.
Yeah.
Um,
Ugh.
but yeah, cheers to that. I mean, they
Mhm,
always give me a good giggle.
mhm.
The 2nd of this month was Anisette Day. Then, of course, just a few days ago, it was Independence Day, July 4th, which is, not a specific, but a kind of general holiday in which people like to imbibe some of their favorite summer drinks. And speaking of another general day in which to imbibe your favorite drink, yesterday it was National Dive Bar Day. And that always
Alright.
makes me think of college because that's where the dive bars are, is the college towns.
Mhm, mhm. Never been to any of those.
No, no. I hear from the youths.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, are you drinking
Yeah,
anything? Are you
I was gonna say, I hear from the youths while simultaneously not being over
being
30.
yeah, yes. Mhm. We're
It's a
threading
very
that
tricky
needle.
thing.
Yeah, they're
Yep,
narrowing
yep.
down on your age, yeah.
Very
Mhm,
tricky path to walk, but someone's gotta do it.
mhm. Yeah, are you celebrating any of these things tonight?
Sadly, no. No,
Oh,
I had to
no.
come into this podcast pretty hot from my, softball game, so I just got my water.
Oh, man, do you have a fancy Stanley mug? Is that a Stanley mug?
No, it's definitely a knockoff.
Okay. Alright, nice. Okay, well, I managed something that,
Ooh,
I think is so I actually had something similar to this on Independence Day, so
perfect.
recreating something akin now. It's got a lot of American elements. So it is bourbon, which is of course the American spirit,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then, I used, it has tea in it. It has British tea in it.
Oh,
So to
interesting.
me, I mean, a lot of people historically
Right,
think, "Oh, Boston Tea Party, bam," you know.
right.
So we've got the tea in this, and then
You are drowning the tea,
yeah, yep,
so,
that's right. I've got simple syrup, some mint, and then this is so instead of Sprite or a sparkling lemon kind of thing,
Yeah.
I had this Waterloo, and if this doesn't say American, it's Huckleberry Cobbler from Guy Fieri.
Oh
It's
my.
Guy
Oh
Fieri's
god, yeah.
Flavor Town Huckleberry
Oh god.
Cobbler. So,
Oh
I
god,
don't
that
know.
is. Also, you know what? I'm gonna give, like, an extra little 4th of July kick because his hair looks like a firework, for sure.
Yeah, it's a sparkler, yeah. That's right.
Mhm. So, yes, very American. Cheers to you,
It's
good
a good
sir.
ona. It's delicious. Very refreshing. Highly recommend. Now, I actually found the recipe. The recipe was different that it had so straight up you make sweet tea for it. And then it had lemon juice in it, and then it was supposed to be like a sparkling sparkling soda or Sprite or something like that. So otherwise, pretty close. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I've been more and more kind of, like, substituting a Sprite or a, um, club soda for, like, a sparkling water. I don't know why.
yeah.
I'm just kinda
Why
digging
not?
that. Yeah,
I mean,
digging
the
that,
thing,
like, drier, less sweet vibe.
right? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, with Ashley, we have them around. Like often, we don't necessarily have Sprite or whatever around unless we're kind of keeping it for that sort of thing. but then we run out and we don't really restock and whatever. We always have the sparkling water on hand,
Mhm. Yep.
and and then yeah, you can control your sugar level. Like I put some simple
Mhm.
syrup in this,
Right.
but it's not
But
going to
it's
be as
less
much
than,
as
like
what's in a Sprite.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Nope, I feel the same.
so very good. All right, let's talk about Jurassic World. So I'm still of the group because I guess the way I grew up that I like to call them Jurassic Park
Yes.
movies.
I definitely, when I was adding it to the list, typed out Jurassic Park and then was like, "Whoops, right, no, Jurassic World."
Hmm.
Like,
Yep. But
also, yeah, I'm very apparently prone to forgetting things about these movies because, first of all, I thought there was only 2. I did not
yeah,
know that
right.
I didn't remember that they made 3 with this particular group of individuals, and also I thought that the second movie was Jurassic World. I almost said Jurassic Park out loud. Jurassic World Dominion, but I thought it was the plot apparently of what I now know is Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
So like I remembered the movie title Jurassic World Dominion and just like superimposed it on what I remembered of the trailer from Fallen Kingdom. And then I
Okay.
thought that was it.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I would have had trouble recalling the names until we kind of started talking about them again. It's like, oh yes, that makes sense. Um, so when Jurassic World first came out,
Mhm.
obviously it'd been a big break since Jurassic Park 3. Um, what were your initial thoughts on that? Like, okay,
I
it's
was
back,
excited.
new casts.
Yeah, I was really excited. It honestly, okay, so I was thinking about this, and this whole Jurassic World movie trajectory kind of reminds me, not kind of, actually, a lot reminds me of the new Star Wars. I can't, like, I was really excited for the first one. I thought the first one was really good, and I was excited for them to keep going. And then the movies declined. So, I mean,
Sure,
broad brushstroke, but that's, I mean, it's
sure.
basically how I feel. I was excited for the reboot when both of them came out. I thought it's been enough time. I'm ready to go. This
Hmm.
looks good. And I thought the first one was really like pretty solid. And especially for Jurassic World, I felt it was a little bit different than just like the sort of repeat of the older trilogy first movie feel.
Okay,
Just, like, having, like, the fully open function Jurassic World, I loved that idea. They were just like,
sure.
"No, we figured it out, we just did it, and then, shit goes sideways from here, but we figured out the park. We're not, like, trying to open it and attract people. This is like a well-oiled machine." I loved that
Yeah,
concept.
yeah. That parallel with Star Wars makes sense, and also that I'm sure there was no plan for Jurassic World, the trilogy. It was we're making Jurassic World. We're going to make another one if it does well, but we don't know what that's going to be. And then same with
Mhm.
the next, it's just like we'll come up
Right,
with a new thing each time. Feels like what they did with Star Wars. And then
right.
relating
But
this
then
to
they,
the
like oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, just relating it to the original Jurassic Park trilogy, each film gets worse.
Yes,
So,
yes. And then what they did is they started copying things from the original Jurassic Park, like bringing dinosaurs back to the mainland and having like things go awry at like, you know what I mean? It started to get
sure.
like, I've seen these, oh, shit goes wrong on a ship. Like, I've seen this
Hmm.
before. You know what I mean? Like, it just started to be like, oh, you were doing something new and it didn't feel recycled. And then it felt a little like, darn it.
Okay. Yeah. For in transparency here, I have not seen Dominion. I have not seen
Okay.
that one.
Do you
So,
know about the casting surprise that's in there?
um, I don't know if there's a surprise. I don't know about it.
I
I
mean,
mean,
surprise-ish.
my understanding was that basically our main cast from the original Jurassic Park was coming back.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
'Cause I do
See,
not remember seeing a single trailer for Dominion, which I think is why I'm not sure how I picked up on the name, but nothing of the
yeah,
movie itself, but it's why I, like, superimposed Dominion onto Fallen Kingdom.
either
So
that,
and
I
then, yeah,
bet
I
this
got the
was like,
surprise. I was like, "Oh, hey."
I wouldn't be as surprised if this was being promoted when you were pregnant. Like
Sure,
you just had
solid.
other stuff going on. That's my guess because it was such a, like, I don't know how heavily or not heavily promoted it was in general compared to other things, but it was definitely thrown in your face. Come back because the original cast is coming back.
Yeah,
Like that was the function of the promotion. Um,
sure.
so that's what I'm guessing. Um,
Yeah, and
and
I must not have seen it because I feel like I would have just been, like, super pumped and hooked, because, yeah, I definitely felt that they were the greater part of this movie,
mm,
um, but it was very frustrating, and I'm not really giving anything away if you're still planning to watch it at any point. It was very frustrating that our 2 groups did not intersect until very late in the movie.
okay.
I
But at
was I was
least
very
they did, unlike the other
they
franchise you
do.
just was
Yes.
referencing.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, they do, but it definitely was, like, way too late, and I didn't feel that they were, like, I don't know. They didn't have great, like, full ensemble cast, like, chemistry, I
Okay.
didn't feel like. Felt
Okay.
like they had good groups, and then, like, when they intersected, it like, they just didn't really there were too many of them to have real things to do, but the movie was trying to find a moment for each of them to shine in, like, a
Right.
dino attack or, shutting down the lab, which again, I don't think is, like, a big spoiler, because
I'm
there's
not worried
always
about the
something to be shut
spoilers.
down. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so, it just it the whole movie fell really flat, unfortunately. There were
Okay.
glimmers of interesting things but the movie was pretty awful.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about spoiling stuff for me because, like, if I see it someday, fine. If I don't, fine.
Sure.
I just, it was one of those things where I'm a pretty big Jurassic Park fan, and it just got over the course of this
Yeah.
trilogy such a decline that I didn't
Mhm.
even care to see this one. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yep.
when the
I understand that.
first Jurassic World came out, I agree. It was like, oh, it's been enough time. Let's get a fresh start to see what they do. And I thought it was pretty good. They handled the Velociraptor taming
Mhm.
better than could have been done. That could have
Mhm.
been bad. Um, that was pretty good. Central cast was pretty watchable. Effects and stuff looked good again.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I left the theater pretty happy.
Yeah.
I don't think it rose to any of the original three. Um,
Ooh. I would say it's better than the second one.
okay,
The
so
second
you
one
put the
is
original
pretty
trilogy as
rough.
like 1, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a really big soft spot for two in my heart. It's like two is just it has the only thing I don't like about it really is the ending. I don't like coming to San Diego and the stuff running around there. To
Yep.
me that's not good.
Yep.
But so much of the rest of it's got a really phenomenal cast, like
Mhm.
main cast and supporting. I love this being on an island that, is basically free roam, there's very little infrastructure. I love the look of the film and it's still with John Williams' score, the sound of the
Yep.
film. I thought they did a good job of bringing Dr. Malcolm into the like lead role,
Yeah.
and giving him depth and complexity and the other things going on.
Mhm.
I love their Mercedes the SUV. Like, to me,
Mm.
and it's one of the
Mhm.
most harrowing scenes probably in the whole franchise, and it takes some time with the, like, I don't know what you call it. It's not like camper van, but kind of the camper
Oh,
train hanging off of the
yeah.
cliff and having to climb back
Yeah.
up the thing and fall, like,
Oh, so many
intense
times though.
moments. Yes. Mhm. Um, I like
We actually
the
just
raptors in the
caught this on
weeds.
TV too, so I got to
Okay,
see like, I didn't see the whole thing, but I think I saw, like, a solid 3 quarters of it.
okay. So, yeah, I have a few issues, but ultimately, I'm pretty stoked about second one, second Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and my ranking is not to say, like, I don't enjoy the second one, um, but it's just I like the premise of the 3rd as a complete a lot better. Not a lot better, but better. I just think, like, it makes a lot of sense to go back to the island. Like you said, I hate that they, like, end up coming into San Diego, in
Mhm.
the end of the 2nd one. I think it makes a lot of sense, like, why these parents are so desperate to go, like, rescue their kid, and it's semi addressing the present threat of, like, dinosaurs being able to get off the island at least for a little way. 'Cause it
Right.
always is, like, why don't how do they not somehow escape? How do they not get to any other land? Especially the ones that can fly. So there is, like, an element of, like, "Oh, there's, like, a radius at least around the island that you can't get too close to." And I think getting Doctor Grant back, makes a lot of sense too. So, yeah, and there are things about the 3rd one that I don't particularly love, but I do I really love his assistant, Billy, just can't keep it together and has to take the raptor eggs, like, oh, he's such an idiot.
Oh, but yeah, he's that's a dramatic, yeah. A lot of people kind of shat on that 3rd one, I felt like, because it feels different than the first 2.
It
Like, you
it
can tell there's
does.
a different hand behind it and stuff like that,
It
but
does.
it's a well-paced, harrowing dinosaur
Mhm.
movie, like,
Yes.
there's a lot of intense moments there. When Billy's like, he realizes he done messed up, and then he's gonna, like, sacrifice himself basically, and the
Mhm.
pterodactyls are pecking at him and stuff,
Yep.
that's good.
Yep.
It's good drama there.
Yep.
So,
So, yeah,
um
yeah, I thought Jurassic World was in the mix there. It's certainly I mean, nothing can touch, I think, the first Jurassic Park, which is so close to a flawless film. Um, that, yeah, I mean, there's no shot, but I thought Jurassic World really acquitted itself very well.
mhm,
And then, yeah, we took a dive. I think about the only things I liked about the 2nd and the 3rd were, in Jurassic World. The 2nd one, I loved the auction. I loved the idea of it, like, gathering
okay.
all these people together to bid on these, like, vicious animals. I was like, "Something is gonna go wrong. I'm so excited." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, "Ye this is so dumb. You people are so dumb. I would never do this. I do not even care." So yeah, I just love the idea of people being like, "This is a great idea. I have money and I'm going to, buy a dangerous thing that's going to kill me."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I loved that. And then in the 3rd, they have a plot about, like, bringing other pieces of, like, Jurassic period back, like these, like, old school locusts and, like, rodents and things. They're like, "Look what we can do." And of course, like, it's all going wrong. But it was kinda cool to see other creatures too and think about, like, what else happens when you just, like, play around with genetics
yeah,
like this.
yep. So, when are you going to see the new one?
Well, unfortunately, I am, heading out to a conference this weekend. I'm headed out tomorrow, actually. But hopefully when I get back next week, Chris
Okay,
and I can rally and get to the theater and go see it.
very interested to see what your thoughts are. I've been
Yeah,
holding mine
I've
back
heard
from everyone.
I've heard some mixed things, and I mean that generically. I haven't heard very many
Yeah.
specifics about it because 'cause I'm trying not to, but I've heard some
Yeah.
mixed reactions, so I will be also interested to see what I think about this.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, some Jurassic World for you there. A
Mhm.
little bit of Jurassic Park. Feel like anytime we feel like if we want to really like do a rewatch specifically and break one down, we could probably do a whole episode on that because like it's been
Absolutely.
a while since I've seen Jurassic World, the first
Mhm.
one,
Yeah.
or Fallen Kingdom, really. I do also remember the auction and I appreciated the scarier moments in that, like the attempts to
Yes.
be scarier. Like
Yes.
really the only thing I remember really enjoying about that. So,
Yeah. Same. I mean, I just watched it for the first time here, but yeah, I really thought that that was just, like, a well done piece, and the rest of the movie
mhm,
was pretty rough.
mhm. So speaking of scarier,
Mhm.
Sinners.
Yeah.
Um, when did you watch this one? When did you watch Sinners? Back when it came out?
Back when it came out in the theaters, both Chris and I went. I'd been
Okay.
hearing some really good things about it, and I like Michael B. Jordan, so I like Ryan Coogler as a filmmaker, so I was just like, "Yeah, I'm into this," and then I found out pretty soon after the trailers came out, somebody had let it slip that it was a vampire film. I was like, "Oh, awesome, even better. Like, I have to go see it." So, which, I thought I had told Chris, and he definitely wasn't either paying attention or forgot that, and he was like, "What?" So that was a surprise for him.
Okay. So what'd you end up thinking about it?
I really enjoyed it. Um, I like that they kept it, like, pretty simple in the telling. Um, it's just like it's old school horror, somebody getting picked off one by one by one by one, and then you know, there are a couple, like, group scenes where they, futilely try to fight and goes pretty terrible. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was well done. I loved the music. I thought that was excellent, and yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed the surprise at the twist at the end that, one of our twins is still alive,
Right.
'cause I didn't see that
Yeah.
coming.
Spoilers for Sinners, because
Yeah,
it'd be hard a little to talk about some of it. Yeah, even like you say, the vampire thing, they didn't really reveal at first. It felt like, but um, I've had this is the second movie where this has happened to me. I think the first being The Notebook, where I was told how amazing The Notebook is, and I watched it. I'm like,
Oh,
mm. So everybody loves Sinners, and I
mhm.
watched it expecting it was going to be great, and it really fell flat for me.
Okay.
Um,
What fell flat for you?
it felt like it was trying to be a few different movies. Um,
Mm, okay.
really, so the hook gets us with we are known that there's gonna be something scary with it. So they set that expectation, but then we really don't have anything remotely scary or eerie or creepy or anything. What till feels like the 3/4 mark. It's at
Mm,
least halfway through the film, if not
sure.
more.
They do
Um,
a lot of setup for that club. I agree.
it's a lot of setup. The whole movie feels like setup for
Mhm.
this party, and
Yes.
I think it needed
Which
to
is the
be
point.
dramatically trimmed down. Be
Yeah.
you
I
know,
could I could I could yeah, I could give you that for sure. Like, the opening scene I thought was a maze.
yeah,
Like,
that was cool.
the second opening scene, I should say, because the first opening scene, we get Preacher Boy, um, returning, and we have to do, like, a Tarantino backwards.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
the second opening with the Choctaw, coming to that cabin, that was great.
Right. Yeah. So, I think, on one hand, it felt like it wanted to be a blues, kinda historical blues movie, which that could be cool because I loved that was one of the best parts. That was the best part about the movie is the music. Some great
So good.
songs, performances, but if either you're doing a movie that's about the music, and so you can take the time to like, okay, we're gonna go and recruit this guy. He's playing music already. We're gonna talk. This kid's gonna show him how he plays music well, and then we're gonna do it for the town as well, so they can all see together. Like, hey, come to the, it's like that's a lot of music and
Mhm.
stuff in this one thing, and so we spend time and we sit with the musical elements, like it's a focus. And I like that focus. But while we're focusing on that, we're not focusing on any of the scary elements.
Yeah.
So that's the other kind of film it wants to be. It wants to be a scary movie. We don't really get to much of that till way later. And the scary stuff, I love the look of the vampires. I think that the
Mhm.
vampires look really cool, and I also like the idea that they have like a hive mind. I think that's
Yeah.
really cool too. Like once they're bitten, they turn fast, and then they just know everything that everybody
Yep.
else does, and you're just like on their side basically. Because
Mhm.
normally that's always a the conflict. Is oh, he turned me, and like I don't want to be turned, and like then they run off and do their own thing or something, because how dare
Yeah.
you? Like there's all those sorts of drama. They didn't do any of that. Like that was a
Mhm.
cool thing. But then apparently the hive mind doesn't work very well because they all stand there when the sun is coming up. Like every one of them just lets themselves get roasted when the
Yep.
sun's coming. No one runs for shelter in the barn.
Mhm.
So no wonder there was only one guy left before. And he had to build up
Well,
all his whole crew again because they just like don't care that much and let themselves combust en masse occasionally.
yeah, I mean, they gotta have a flaw. I mean, like you said, if that's gonna be a strength, it's gotta be a weakness too. You gotta have, like, the balance of that. Because, I mean, there were so many other things that, like, weren't weaknesses for them. You know what I mean? So they weren't, like, super typical vampires in that they had, like, a bunch of stuff that you could do to them. You know what I mean? So, like, I I
Well,
I roll I rolled with that because, like I said, I think if you gotta accept the hive mind as, like, this cool strength, which I did, like you said, it's gotta be a weakness too. It's gotta have something that can go against it.
yeah, and I totally think they could because I guess if you read it like they're lacking independent thought, so then therefore, they make a decision together and then they maybe miss the obvious or something like that. But that's
Mhm.
kind of messed up because Haley Steinfeld's character and the one brother run off
Right.
for no apparent reason. Like that's the other weird thing is like the vampires are going to win. There's no way these people they're way outnumbered. When they come in,
Mhm.
there's no way that they're going to deal with all these vampires. And then there's a couple blows and the two just book it, breaking the deal they have with the hive mind when they have the victory here. So I
Mhm.
didn't understand that other than we need a reason or a way to have these two live. So I thought that was very strange. Um, we need to cutting more time with like the buildup and drama. The preacher boy, I don't think he needed the girl to the married woman to
Mm.
like fall for and stuff. Like she could have been there and sang, but I don't think we needed a backstory and like stuff with another thing with her. He didn't need a relationship,
Sure.
all that sort of thing.
I kinda liked it. Um, I mean, I feel like that actually didn't bother me terribly much, but I feel like as you're saying, there was a lot of build up to the party. I feel like that could have been trimmed. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I had to pick stuff to cut down, I feel like I could have gotten a lot less backstory and interaction with all of the characters because in the end, it turns out they really didn't need it. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, in this fight, there wasn't like, "Oh god, this person is dying, and remember all these moments you know what I mean? I think there were a few interesting moments of that, but they were really between the twins and between, like, their respective paramours, and then a lot of that other stuff could have just been like, you know? tightened
Yeah.
up. Let's just like recruit a gang. We've known each other before. Let's go open a juke joint, have some fun, and let's get to some scary shit.
Yep. Alan says he imagined the hive mind broke when the main vampire died, and I can see that. But the thing is, those two fled in the middle of the barn fight, not when he died at the lake. They didn't
Which
hightail it when the sun was coming up.
we
He,
didn't know. Well, I mean, we didn't know at the time, but then we get the flashback of being told like, "Hey, I can't kill you. I can't do it. You got to go."
Mhm,
So, I mean, maybe there's something in that moment that like broke in their hive mind.
sure.
There was like some way that his connection with his twin was strong enough or, you know, something that they could leave.
The movie was fun when it was being kind of fun and creepy, like when they were, trying to get invited in, that
Yeah.
kind of at times felt a little playful. And then they'd be out there, they're all like, singing together and Irish shanty, and like that was,
Yeah.
I feel like we could have had a movie that was a little more playful because then it tried to veer really dramatic,
Mhm.
at the end. So also another like just extraneous thing, like we have the place had to be sold to them by a grand wizard. So then this is another thing tacked on that, oh, he was
Mhm.
me. It was really just because that's the other theme. Like here you have two men that can never be free. So they're set up to be killed at the end then anyways. This is just a whole nother added extra thing, elements to the plot that wasn't needed. It was all for like him to be able to have a just shoot down a whole bunch of people and then in a kind of foolish manner, might I add, but then to like be reaching out for his child and his now dead woman as well.
Mhm.
Like that felt really dramatic and part of a different movie than this one, than the fun vampire stuff we'd seen before. So again, more stuff that could have been
Sure.
cut, but it's just like we need a way to have him die because he's we want him to die, I guess.
Sure.
He
Yeah, I mean, I think if you kind of get into this aspect of the movie, you can't get away from like the idea of this movie is definitely addressing racism and you have that very overtly in a grand wizard of the KKK coming in at the beginning. You have it like subtly with like the two persons that are turned at the beginning. I cannot remember their names. Um having like their hoods and they're getting ready to attack, you know. And I think my interpretation of that is like there is like this level of like blatant overt and then there's like a subtler version that the movie is also trying to critique, I think, through the vampires and the hive mind. So that's, I think, in my mind, how I pictured those two plot lines being intertwined. Um, and it was like a, hey, like this is the stuff that you can see that's super obvious, and then this is like the more insidious, creepy, like infiltrated hive mind kind of um stuff that we're going to address through the vampires. That's how I equated that. I'm not sure if that's the correct interpretation or any version of, what Coogler was trying to get at with his film, but that's how those 2 worked for me. Um, do I think it worked perfectly if that's the case? No, but I sort of got there, and I enjoyed the shootout for sure. I
But did
loved
you
finally
see
being
how?
able to know what was in the trunk, and
Oh
it
yeah.
just, like, pulls out everything. Um, and as a parent, of course, like, having him reach for his baby and finally being able to be reunited with his son at the end was like, tugging at them heartstrings, ain't we?
uh, can you see though how it's like three different films? It's so
Yes,
this
I
last one
I
here is a
do.
dramatic sort of thing that's heavy on the messaging that people are going to be
Yep.
tired of. So it's going to be hard for people to get in the theaters to see like heavy drama about racism. Then you have
Mhm.
a movie that's a fun vampire movie that's got a kind of unique take on them. And then you have a movie that's heavily focused on like blues music. And
Mhm.
we feature Buddy Guy at the end and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And these things just don't make a thing to me that works well. It
Sure,
really
yeah,
doesn't click.
the braid doesn't come together, yeah, like, the
Yeah.
3 strands don't really braid. I do see what you're saying. I think yeah, I think there were successful pieces that made, in my mind, an enjoyable but not wholly successful some, you know?
Mhm. It reminds me, like, very weirdly of, like, John Wick 4. It's like, I could watch all these things
Oh,
in pieces, the
sure.
cool fight scenes in pieces, but it doesn't work together. Like, they've lost a
Mhm,
dramatic they lost me caring about the arc of John Wick,
mhm,
and so putting them together just feels silly, or it's like, yeah. That's at least one genre, It'd be
mhm,
different too, like, I talked to my horror group a little bit of this, it's like, it's not a genre switch either. Like, it would be if they'd had no indication that this was a scary movie, so we didn't have the hook at the beginning with all that sort of thing. It just
mm,
seemed like a kind of a blue this is a kinda historical set thing about the blues and putting together how the importance of music and that sort of thing and of the time. And then all of a sudden there's a switch
mhm.
and you're like, where did this come from?
Right,
That can be cool and can work. But then you have to switch. You can't
right,
go back to the other thing. You've now flopped to the next other genre.
right. Plus, you can't give it away in the trailers.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Um, what did you think of like, the filming way to make Michael B. Jordan be a twin?
The filming way? What do you mean? Like the
Just the way that, like, all of those scenes were shot, um, and did you buy, like, his performance? Did it feel like he was
um
2 people, and did it look right on screen?
to me, like, I didn't question that that he had a twin. I thought that was fine. I liked that they had different color hats, just
Mhm.
like something that. But did they feel like fleshed out separate characters? To me, they didn't, because I did find myself at times like, wait a minute, which is this smoke or is
Mm,
this stack?
stack. Yep.
You know?
Same.
Um,
I
okay,
definitely lost them as they lost their clothing. They lost a little bit of
right.
identity, and I had a hard time remembering who was who.
hmm Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute, especially when when Haley Steinfeld had been possessed and she was going to come in and she was seducing the one. She's like, can't you? She acted like she was with the other one.
Yeah.
Is what it read to me. Is like, wait a minute, is his brother about to betray him and sleep with his ex right
Mhm.
now? That's the way I read it, and like, but then it wasn't.
And then I also think there was a point in the movie where they mixed up the names, like, somebody called one Dak, and I was
Okay,
like, "I'm really, like, super sure it's Smoke," or the other way around, you know what I mean? I think there was a point where somebody got mixed up, and I was like, "What? I'm so confused."
okay, yeah, they're trying to like blend us in with everybody else. They might not always be aware of who's who,
Mhm. Right.
100%. So, yeah, I don't know. The bringing the music, the bringing back like spirits from the past, but then in the future was like a cool idea. And I like some of it, and some of it was a little out of place, you know?
Same, same. I
Um,
liked some of that, and I liked it to an extent, but I liked
mhm,
it less when it was, like, a little more conceptual and the joint was gone, and it was just them in, like, an open field. I thought it was cooler when,
yeah,
like, the figures were within and, like, kind of in the crowd, but out, but separate.
yeah,
That was the cooler part to me.
yep, yep. Um, so yeah, I think there was a good movie in here if they had stuck with either the blues route and we just got more good blues, you know.
Mhm.
And we told a story of a preacher's son that got into this kind of party world and gave into sin, and it didn't go well for him. But it was like
Yep.
realistic then, you know, and he got into drugs, too much crime, what you know, whatever, kind of
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But the blues was always with him, and he wouldn't change it for the world or something. Or
Mm.
vampire one, and we get the uh Indians that were tracking the vampires
Yeah,
that
I
have
kinda
found
missed
them.
them.
That was
You know
a
what I mean? I
potential
wish they would
really
have
cool
been
thing.
yeah, I wish they would
They
have
coulda
been
come to
back.
save the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I mean, even if they didn't, at least, like, show them again.
Yes.
I just
Well,
kept
they knew it.
waiting.
Yeah. It was like this strand that, like, I thought was one of the coolest things,
Mhm.
elements, and then they never never broached
Never
the
picked it
subject
up.
again. So,
Yeah.
but so anyways, it didn't help me going in with really high expectations because
Mm,
I
yeah.
just really hadn't heard anyone not like it. And then so yeah, but what do you do? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had James Bond news, but it's getting a little late. Will there be more James Bond news that we'll be able to tack on later to
Mhm.
continue to talk about this? I'll try to save these links because definitely want to go through it sometime.
Same, yeah.
Maybe just us can get on and talk about that as well. Just see what happens with that because there's going to be pretty soon. Yeah, there's going to be more rumors. We're going to have to go through more rumors, which is fine by me. Like keep them coming. I'm ready to.
Yeah. I mean,
It's interesting.
at least we have some decisions now, we're hearing concrete things instead of just like the endless cycle of like who's who, who's the director gonna be, like who's the star gonna be. Like
Yeah,
we're very slowly narrowing the universe to actually, deciding things. So that's good.
yeah. We've got producers, we've got a
Mhm.
director, and we've got a time slot for the
Release.
hope for
Yep.
completion. Yes.
Yep.
So, yep. Okay, well, that's quite a genre mix there as well. It's a couple very different things, but Jurassic World and Sinners. Everybody, make sure you let us know what you think of these properties. Are you going to the next Jurassic World? Have you lost interest? Are there other people out there that didn't like Sinners? Let me know. I know there are. I know there are a couple. Talk to a couple now, I guess, but anyways, our podcast, Popcast on the Rocks, you can follow us on YouTube, Twitch, X, all those places. We're live in those places right now.
Yep.
So like, share, subscribe, all that sort of thing. We're also on podcast directories. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and a whole bunch of other ones. So subscribe to us there if you'd like. The video version is available on Spotify. You can follow our friends, Killing the Flower. They wrote our theme song, so you can check them out on music streaming services. Mike, TrackMouse34, give him a follow. He's on Instagram and YouTube with racing videos. And Peter J. Gilbertson, can look him up on Amazon and find his books. They're worth the read. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's all the stuff there. Andrea, thank you for making the time and joining me tonight. And we'll see you already next time.
Of course. As always, cheers.